I was out clubbing last night, and like I swear down, they played it at least twice in the club, and walking around Newcastle is kind of insane because everyone's just walking around, and like two groups of people look at each other across the street, and like they both like look and they lock eyes, right? It's like battles about to commence, and then they're like, "It's coming up," and they just start singing at each other. It's somewhat incredible, but it's also somewhat.
It's actually. I guess the UK is very similar to Australia in that regard, where it's like it's really late at night, you're out in the city, and it's around that hour when everyone that's still standing on the street is at that drunk hour.
Yeah.
So everyone's drunk.
Yes.
And if you lock eyes with another bloke and they have that intense look in their face, you know it's either going to be something amazing or something horrible is about to happen.
I just had a really good idea how I can fix this overlay as well. So it's going to be like 1 second.
I'm with you.
Oh, I literally just cut the base trade BTSL logo out. All these years of casting, I finally learned some talents, and now it looks like a good overlay. Everything looks good, apart from it still says BTSL War Chest, but I can't do that much stuff. All right.
What are you gonna do?
On the plus
everyone
side,
should get our portraits anyway.
You should get our portraits. Yeah, you can still get downloadable, Zombie Grove DLC. It's crazy, Me and Rifkin got one portrait, and then, ZG gets 2. Absolutely disgusting. Favoritism or what?
She's greedy. She's greedy.
Guys, to the top right-hand side of
Gumiho
16-bit, it's alive.
We'll see how alive he'll be in a minute here. As in the bottom left, Psystorm Gaming's Gumiho is going for a cheeky proxy here with the refinery. So it's not just Marines. He's going to go for the Reaper variety.
Rue came in with the 5-month resub. Now he comes in with the 500 bits. Thank you so much. Still unlocking football emotes as well, so we can all spam footballs. Incredible.
That's it.
So much for the 500 bits.
World Cup hooking us up. 500 bitty boos. Good old Rue 77.
Hey, Australia were in the World Cup, right?
We were.
Yeah, but you guys had some good games, actually.
We did have some good games. Actually, Australia made it relatively deep back in 2004, I want to say. It was a long time ago, but our country's not really known for soccer. We're a very proud sporting nation, but
wow.
You were 10?
Yeah.
Jeez, what was I in 2004? I was... God, I was old enough to drink. So I was at least 18.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, well, we have Reapers, like you said. It's actually such a good map for Reaper play.
It really is quite excellent. That pocket natural, this big ledge here for the Reapers to jump up and down. Obviously, Alive isn't walling that section off. You can't really wall that section off. There's multiple ledges, and there is one Reaper here from Alive, but 2 is greater than 1, Morty.
2 is greater than 1. I did a degree in physics for 4 years, and even I learned that, Rick Maynard.
Yeah.
So
quick maths.
Quick maths on stream. You guys don't get your qualities anywhere else. Better than BaseTradeTV, I guess. That's what the M stands for.
Mate.
Quick maths.
That's exactly right. Whew, this is looking a little rough here. I mean, a Hellion is out. It builds a lot quicker than a Cyclone. It doesn't shut down Reapers as hard as a Cyclone does, but good micro and a couple Reapers of your own. It looks like Alive should be able to hold, at least against these first 3 Reapers. Oh, a couple of them getting splash damage on them. Down they go. That's a good takeout.
Yeah, great stuff so far. However, he's going to come in and get the Hellion, maybe. Oh, but he loses the Reapers again. I would say that's disastrous already from Gumiho, because now he doesn't have any pressure to stop Alive from counterattacking. And he doesn't have anything finished at home right now, so okay, even you can wall off and so on, but still, it's not the ideal scenario at all. And Gumiho, I don't think, found enough damage here. Although still equal.
I'm with you on that. He's got these barracks still on the outside, which of course Alive needs to be aware of. He looks like he can block the back natural, which I think Alive's about to take. Yeah, and he's going to get a Cyclone. It's only halfway done. He might lose an SCV here. But that should be the extent of the damage for now, considering how low hit points this Reaper is for Alive.
The starport going down, or being slowed down, of course, is just a bit annoying as well, because generally Alive already will have the starport, and you can see now he's actually starting up Cloak. A Banshee probably on the way soon, so the longer your own starport's delayed, the less of a chance you have to set up in towards maybe the Raven, the Viking, and whatever else you might feel you need to defend here.
Certainly. The barracks is actually doubling not only as an annoying structure around Alive's main, it also scouted for him. He sees that there's a Cloak Banshee on the way. So back at home, Gumiho probably want to get an engineering bay or something like that. I mean, Cyclones can do all right against okay, Raven, good choice.
It works.
Yeah, Raven with a cloak follow-up, so he can get a Banshee of his own next, perhaps. But that's a lot of gas. Goodness.
It feels as though if Alive had built Cyclones, he would just run this ramp and kill Gumiho. But Alive didn't make Cyclones. He made another Hellion, he made the Banshee, now he goes into Attack Lab on the factory. I still think Alive has that army advantage for later in the game, though. You know, 3-4 minutes from now or something when he has a couple of siege tanks. All of a sudden, this push can be very powerful, especially if he has a Raven of his own. Did he cancel his cloak? He did cancel his cloak as well. So, you know, this Banshee is cloakless. He got a bit of gas back. He gets a Raven. I really feel you get a couple of tanks, you push across the map, and I think that becomes very difficult for Gumiho to defend.
I'm with you there. His army is on the screen, as we can see here. It is 3 whole units, about to become 4 with that second Cyclone coming out. So it is very, very weak to a siege bio push from Alive, which it could potentially be on the way here as he gets towards his 3rd CC. So with Alive getting that 3rd command center, he really rules this game at the moment, from the mid-game onwards here, because he's just, even if he takes a bad trade, he has 3 command centers economy, with Gumiho finishing up his 3rd back at home as well, but it's going to be a little bit lower of a work account because of his opening.
As you guys know, I'm a great observer, and that's why we didn't see the 6 SCVs dying to what I assume was the Banshee. So that happened. But it keeps Gumiho behind by about 7 workers as well. So I mean, that Banshee's still coming in useful. That's such a great Banshee. 1 Banshee, no cloak, 6 workers. And you really can't ask for much more than that.
Nah, certainly not. Alive's really, really wearing the daddy pants in this game right now. He's ahead in pretty much every single way. There's no upgrades from either player just yet, but certainly in army count and in work count, he's looking very, very good. And also in army composition as well. I'm just liking the number of tanks, the number of just having that 1 Raven out. I really don't like having Cyclones at this point in the game, and your other guys getting more Marines and tanks than you are.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly Cyclones become not great, right? They go from being this unit that's like, oh my god, Cyclone, 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 to, oh my god, you did absolutely nothing in this fight. It's really insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Cyclone is just like the ultimate early game unit, like for the first few minutes, and then after that, it's just all about getting something else. It even baffles my mind sometimes when Terrans in late game against TVZ feel like they need to get some Cyclones. Gumiho is actually one of those players that likes to do that. Just gets like a bunch of Cyclones with like the anti-air upgrade. Oh, this Banshee gets picked off by the auto turret.
Great.
That's really deserving. Gumiho.
Yeah, I love that. Nice little auto turret there. Well played by Alive. Again, Gumiho just not finding anything for himself here. He's coming across the map with the Raven and the Cyclones. I mean, what are you hoping to get done with this? Not a lot if you're going to get stopped by the rocks, I guess. I guess it's just some map control in general, but now this Raven's out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And Interference Matrix as well. No defensive auto turret.
That Raven's going to do nothing but die. Wow.
What an insanely good game from Alive here, with Gumiho just getting deflected absolutely every single turn. Early game, very little damage. Mid game, very little damage. And Alive's just been not only deflecting it, but also every time he harasses, it's been effective. Now, we do have a Banshee in the main base. It doesn't have much energy left on her, though. She's about to uncloak.
Yeah, gonna run out of cloak in here, and he actually does still pick up 6 SCVs or so, I think, by the time it's done. Even more. Wow, this Viking squad took a while to get this done, so suddenly Alive drops down in supply. This one's so great. What's up, Nothing Man 32 of the 40-month free sub? That is almost as high as I can count, so... Wow. 40 months. Damn.
40 months. That's a lot of months, man.
We do have to, by the way, literally stop and do shoutouts as soon as they come in today, because I have no way of going back and seeing what happened on this stream if we don't do it straight away. So
no stream alerts, or
no, we just got them popping up on the stream. That's all we got. That's all we got to
well, you know what? That's important, because that's for other people. So I'll look forward ahead.
Oh! What
wow.
do you do when everything gets interference matrixed? I guess
I think the answer is nothing. we have a Cyclone coming in from the back. Might pick off 1 tank here, but
the
these
SCVs. The SCVs gonna kill. Well, heroes. Well, I mean,
don't go too far.
Yeah, this is interesting then, because you know it might not.
Alive!
Alive!
Oopsie daisies. Oh well. There goes 150 minerals and 125 gas right there. Certainly didn't need to just walk into the natural there.
As I say, honestly, I didn't mind this for Alive. Like, he traded out tanks, he got a bunch of workers to kind of retake the worker lead. Then he throws away the extra tank. I guess it's still not the end of the world, because he still did a good job, I think, but obviously a little bit of a shame. He still has leads in upgrades, for example, although that's about to disappear, and his armory is a bit late. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Gumiho, I was about to say that I think that Alive can afford to make mistakes, but that said, though, Gumiho has done a really good job now that he has that third CC secured and saturated, that both players have a very similar economy now. It's not the biggest of differences. The big deal, I guess, I suppose, is that Gumiho is a little bit later on that armory, so a little bit later on those upgrades. Actually, does he have a... Actually, doesn't even have an engineering base, so he's not getting any upgrades right now. Jesus.
No, he's got engineering base. He's got one.
Has he?
Yeah.
Has he got one?
Just finished. Yeah.
Oh, it's right there. Okay, my bad. I was zooming around. I was zooming around like, where's his Enchi base?
I get that too. Sometimes, sometimes I have those games. I'm like, where are all my barracks? And 7 of them are just sat in my main. I'm like, again.
You know what? Structures tab. I should use that.
Structures tab. That's what the procasters use, though. Again, we're on BaseTradeTV. We don't use all those fancy tools anymore.
Like you were complaining about your observing, mate. Please. Come and watch my observing when I have a replay cast sometime, just for science. Like, you don't have to stick around. Just I try to have a look at my observing and be like, you know what? At least I'm not the worst one.
I try to, but then I watch a Fear Dragon game. I feel a little bit sick.
He does keep sending in replays. I actually have one from him when I get home from Spain.
Yeah, I think he literally sent in replays just to annoy you with TTs.
That wouldn't shock me at all. Oh, big bio advantage here for Alive. There's a lot more units than Gumiho here at the front line.
Gumiho actually has a couple of well set up defensive tanks. We're seeing interference matrix on one of them already, though. Another one on the high ground. It does go down before the Raven falls. It just means that these Marines can push so far forwards for a little while. Although in the end, he is going to have to pull away. He doesn't have the vision to actually get the other siege tank here at the front. So in the end, Alive didn't really make the most of this.
Yeah, he hasn't done incredible damage. 6 SCVs is a good start, but Gumiho is still not that far behind on workers. Just a little bit far behind on that. Just a little bit further behind than Alive on that 2-2 because of the later armory. Alive is actually going to have +1 for his tanks as well, so they're going to be able to hit a little bit harder as well. They're getting in within range of a couple of these mineral patches, and a few of these SCVs are going to die. Or a couple of the boys being pulled with some of these Marines here to try and buffer for these siege tanks. Targets each one of them down, and Gumiho does mop up Alive here on the front of his front of his third, rather.
Yeah, this is nice. Gumiho stays alive again, but you look back home and suddenly Alive has the Planetary Fortress on the 4th base about to finish, right? He's already got +2 vehicle weapons on the way.
Oh, drop the natural.
Oh, there is a drop in the natural. And gets a few SCVs as well, so just adding on to that before. One of the medevacs already went down to the double turret, but I guess it'll keep Gumiho pinned back as well. So, keeping Gumiho busy here, as I guess he doesn't have much else to take advantage of though, right? I mean, maybe if Gumiho is on 4 bases, he could have pushed into the 4th. But on this super defensive setup on 16-bit, there's just no real way to kill your opponent.
Yeah, not really. It's really hard to kill a Terran, even when you're Terran, because of their defensive capabilities with all these siege tanks
Terran
and
is
lots
just so
of Marines.
broken in TVT. Like,
it is really the strongest race.
Is unbeatable.
It's 100% Terran win rate. Like, you can't argue with the results.
It is. These few Marines are very brave. They keep on turning around to try and kill tanks and so on, but in the end, they still just end up running away. However, this time he will have a 4th base to attack into, and he comes right on in here at the perfect timing. Oh, it is dead.
Yeah. Beautiful move there from Alive. I was a little bit worried for Alive there. He's losing quite a few units whenever he tried to attack into Gumiho, but that was absolutely worth it. And considering he's going to get back and save all these units as well, it's not even like he even donated any units to that. That was a free pickoff. Yeah,
that was beautiful. It's exactly what was wanted there from Alive, and now he really does secure himself that 4th base advantage. He keeps that there, right? It's not just something that's there for a minute, it's there for multiple minutes. 4th base just now rebuilding for Gumiho. Gumiho's almost forced onto the map to try and do something here.
Yeah, Gumiho also has these Liberators, but he doesn't really have a good contingent of Vikings to protect them from the Vikings of Alive. He has one, I think, and it's very low in hit points. So without that air advantage, it's going to be very hard to utilize these Liberators very effectively.
Oh yeah, it's going to be...
And that Viking dies as I say that.
It's going to be really, really tough as, I mean, Alive just rotates around, and this map's so large as well that while there is a lot of different ways for, different positions for Gumiho to come in from, there's also a lot of ways for, Alive to respond, and a lot of ways for Alive, it gives him a lot of time, I guess, to get into position every single time. And that's what's happened so far. Alive keeps track of his opponent, knows where he needs his army to be, and he's looking good for it.
Ooh, that's a big drop.
It is a big
Alive
drop.
sets up a line of siege tanks here. He drops off. He's got 4 medevacs filled with Marines here. So 32 Marines with Stim and 2-2 upgrades, looking for a big end game maneuver. He has this watchtower, so he feels very, very safe to do this. Gumiho is actually moving out to try and take that tower back, but it's gonna Find a little bit too much Marines for him to chew on.
Just a few too many. And this isn't a planetary fortress still, so this could be another snipe on the fourth base. No. There is more Marines coming in, and, well, Alive will just start a fight. He'll take down a couple of Liberators. He's going to pick up.
It's a full medevac, very, very low in hit points. Did you save those last few Marines? Oh, I guess not.
This army's in a bit of an awkward spot. Like, those medevacs are low. He has to be a bit careful. The rest of Gumiho's army starts to surround him here, potentially. And those Marines of Gumiho are so low. Wow.
They are, and again, no medevac support, so they are going to sit on this many hit points till they rejoin this big blob up here with all the siege tanks.
Yeah, siege tanks facing off against each other here, as we do see Raven and a few more Liberators on the way out from Alive. Advanced ballistics coming in as well, so that's something which I like this from Alive.
Yeah, getting that second armory as well, getting ship weapons, as well as, if he wants to get it, armor or even upgrades for his tanks, whatever he wants to do. He really just, the world is his oyster. He has a lovely bank. Gumiho's bank is better somehow. I guess he's just been maxed a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Oop.
It's actually a little bit strange. Alive actually has more workers as well, so it's kind of crazy. Gumiho just now getting the fourth base open, yet here he is maxed out. He has a bank to work with. He has more army because he has less SCVs. It kind of feels like Gumiho might be able to get something done, but again, at the same time, those siege tank lines are just so impenetrable.
Yeah, just how do you break this position? It looks like Gumiho's plan might be to muscle the air back from Alive by getting multiple starports up, but Alive already has that, and he has Liberators coming out here to complement that big Viking count that he has, and with this extra Raven, he can start the interference metrics tanks down. He's got a much better tech army, I feel, than Gumiho.
Yeah, I wonder if even like an anti-armor missile could be something useful here. It's crazy actually, Alive only has 37 Marines versus the 81 Marines of his opponent. So he's gone from this much more, he's gone from the mobile I can run around the map composition to I'm going to sit back, I'm going to defend. And at this stage, it's almost like he's on the way to playing mech a little bit, He is still making Marines, he is still playing Marine tank, but you can kind of see like the potential for like how this is looking more mechy. Is that, my friend? You thought you had a big drop before, that is a big drop.
Now, I've seen some Doom drops in my time. That one is as doomy as Doom gets. And he can't avoid the Sense Tower. There's not enough dead space in this map to do that. So, I mean, if he comes in with this, he's an absolute madman.
Oh, there's Marines here as well, and they don't actually stim and target medevacs right away, so maybe Alive didn't quite see this in time. Liberators will start to siege up. Vikings will come through. Nothing's getting out of here. Alive, I don't think, Maynard. But how much damage can they do in the meantime? Not enough, I don't think.
Well, a lot of them have had their armor shredded, and he gets 9 SCVs, but that was his entire army, or at least 90% of it. As he drops down to 39 army supply, Alive is in an absolute commanding position here after that not very effective trade there with that drop from Gumiho. Alive helping him with that turret for a little bit there.
Why is there 1 SCV as the last unit of Gumiho? Like, why is there 1 SCV? That makes no sense.
Why was it in the medevac?
I have absolutely no idea. I really don't.
Build some offensive turrets to protect the Bowler Marines?
I guess so. A few Liberators sieging up, and that will be Gumiho typing out. Alive takes game 1 of this best of 3 TVT.
This is a true Korean tournament. No fucking around. This is Crank's show. This is Olivia's show. They just grab the players, and the admins are as go as the players are. So it just means that this thing is like wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
But what we'll do is at the end of the series, we'll just be like, shut the fuck up, man. I'll go on a break.
All right, I'm done with you. Bye, BRB.
Yeah.
We're going to have the greatest throws ever today. All right, to the top right-hand side, our red Terran player from Sizestov is Gumiho. Still tapping this page up and page down to zoom in and out.
Just tap. And in the bottom left, our next one's Alive. Currently on match point here with a very brilliant game on 16-bit.
If you guys aren't impressed with the camera work on that intro, I don't know what to tell you. That was really something.
Dude, I felt like I was back in the theater in Vancouver, mate. That vibrate every time you open the microwave.
You open the microwave, you feel like you've been thrown to the right-hand side. That's so good. The first one I was like, this is kind of cool. He gets punched, I feel like I'm being punched. And he's like, he slams the microwave, I like jolt more in my chair than I ever have done so far. I'm like, well, it's a little bit crazy, isn't it? It's a little bit crazy.
I remember I was sitting next to Zombie Grub and it started shaking my chair around, and I was just like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. CG, how do I turn it off? How do I turn it off? Because she still had hers on. I'm like slapping the sides of the chairs trying to figure out how to switch that shit off. Anyway.
Just get rid of your stupid thing! No. It's an interesting concept, I guess. Can you imagine, right? Imagine watching StarCraft with vibrating chairs.
Oh my god.
What would a siege tank shot feel like?
You know what? Yeah, siege tank shot, or having like a ball of Marines die to like 3 or 4 siege tanks that you didn't have vision of, or something like that, or like you know losing like 20 supply of Marines instantly, just having your chair like knock you back.
You know what it is? Have you been to Disneyland in like the one near BlizzCon?
I have, yes.
Have you been on the Star Wars ride? Where?
I have.
Yeah.
Dude, I went on that when I was 6 years old. They still have it.
So you know when it goes up to like light speed, that's like a medevac boosting. Yes. So medevac boosters is like, whoa, you like fall back into your chair.
I doom drop every matchup just for that experience.
I doom drop every matchup. That'd be something. Try to think what else could be cool. You get hit by an anti-armor missile, your entire vision just goes orange.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's got anything to do with the chair, but
covered in Cheeto dust.
Yeah. We've gone past the vibrating chair now. We've got all sorts of effects.
Yeah, that's right. Fungal growth. Oh god, you just get like Nickelodeon gacked. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
And the sky's the limit, really. I feel like we're actually. I feel like we should have patented a few of these before we started talking about it in front of like 1,000 people.
I didn't realize how great our idea was going to be. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I thought we were memeing, but now I'm actually like, this is pretty legit. Couple Reapers here from Gumiho coming up towards that natural, looking to try and get that natural CC stopped or slowed down, and he gets that SCV. That's already a very nice usage of these 2 Reapers here. Oh, doesn't want to lose them though. Oopsie daisies, they're dead.
Yeah, 1 SCV, it doesn't even delay it that long. I kind of feel it's weird because like the Reapers are super important, but it's that stage where maybe they're starting to fade out in kind of importance and what they're needed for. So I think it's nice for Live to still have his because he can use them to harass still. I don't know. I feel like there are these units that can hop in at any stage of the game and find like 3 or 4 workers, right? So to only find 1 worker, I think is just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, at my level, if I can stop the 2 Reapers, or usually 2 Reaper at a Hellion in the early stages of the game, and I still have my 2 Reapers and a Cyclone alive, I just A-move into their natural, and it usually does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
But Gumiho is obviously pretty solid here. He's got his bunker up, he has a Cyclone of his own. And speaking of Cyclones, he is reactoring them out as well, so going for that heavy Cyclone opener here, which was all the rage back in TVT for like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, we had, I mean, people were complaining like, Cyclones, and the greatest thing is they didn't even change anything, and people stopped using Cyclones. Isn't that the beauty of StarCraft? This unbeatable composition just disappeared. Just went. It is no more. It
is funny how quickly people jump on the it's unbeatable, it's broken thing, you know.
Well, I tell you what is unbeatable. Ooh. 2 Cyclones versus 1. Okay, there's actually more than 1. Well, those other Cyclones showed up a bit late.
Yeah, Gumiho is like, here's some I prepared earlier. Get out of my main.
Oh, you want me to fight with all my Cyclones? Go on, then.
Go on, then. Go on, drop you cheeky devil. Oh, is that another factory and another reactor from
that is.
Goodness.
Even as a tech lab, he could have thrown this factory on, but no. He wants another reactor, so lots of Cyclones.
I think he wants a starport on that bad boy, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I guess that would make a lot of sense, going towards the Raven, or maybe not. maybe just a massive fuck you, may not.
You know, Gumiho fucking hates me, man. I just realized that. I had no idea until today.
Gumiho was like, I really want a Raven, but what do I want more? The Raven? Or just to make me look
dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I'd choose, definitely.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense in the end, right? The build factory goes into Tech Lab a bit faster, so in the end you get the Siege Tank a little bit sooner, which will help against an attack like this one, so it works out pretty well in terms of timing. There's a third CC behind us, something Alive is still just now building, although in location. This means that Gumiho is about 5 workers ahead without any repercussions so far.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, these Cyclones of Gumiho do clean up this a little bit of pressure here from Alive. He's trying to get more done with that medevac. That's a tank in there, but he's... Oh my god, how did that survive?
That didn't make sense. The medevac was over the chasm and the tank dropped off on land. What?
I felt like it dropped over the chasm and then teleported a couple pixels down onto the ledge.
Tanks have wings,
I mean, that's quite a few Cyclones. Quite a few Cyclones here, and I feel like with that Raven, Gumiho needs to pull back here. The Raven can make all the difference, can lock down 2 of those Cyclones, or Interference Matrix 2 of those Cyclones, and his Bio and tank can do the rest.
Most definitely. Liberator here for live. He's going to move on in, and well, it's already taking a lot of damage, so it won't take a lot to clean it up. But still might get a couple SCVs here. Gumiho not pulling away. Gumiho.
Yeah, very late reaction here from Gumiho. Goodness. He does clean up this army of Alive, though, which is very, very good.
Yeah, I guess he was busy taking that fight.
Really,
I mean, I feel like that army from Alive wasn't so scary, though, right? It was only like a very low number of Marines, 1 tank, a couple of Cyclones. And again, it's those units that kind of...
Raven.
Oh yeah, I guess the Raven went down too. That's very true. The Raven's actually probably the most valuable thing of all.
I think the Raven actually... Yeah, the Raven went down, yeah. I just checked the units lost. Shift L. Just figured it out.
There we go. We'll learn as we go here today.
That's right. People are complaining about chat being dead. Well, I mean, it's all just bots, isn't it? We're botting chat today.
Of course chat's dead.
No one wants to watch Maynard boarding.
It's a rerun. Duh.
Oh, yeah, it's a rerun. Cool, yeah, that's right.
not us, though, just the chat. The chat's a rerun. We actually thought
that's
it would
actually
increase viewer experience.
That's the future of Twitch.
Yeah.
That's the future of Twitch. When you're one of those guys that has 5 viewers, like, and you have your 2 or 3 mates to just watch your stream, and that's pretty much it. You can actually just have a chat replay to look like you have an active chat while you're.
So you can still talk to people, even if they're not really there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like a tool, so you can like practice your talking when people actually do show up.
Exactly. Yeah. But if they do show up, you'll never know because the chat's a replay. Oh.
That is true. But then who needs to have a real chat?
Oh my god. I feel like I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, can we stop? I'm already done with this.
Oh well. Obviously we're having Gumiho meching here against Alive, who's obviously identified this and is throwing in quite a few Marauders already in his army composition, and he's going to go heavy into air as well. I love this from Alive. This is something that I love to do in TVT because I'm usually the bio guy. I never really go mech in this matchup, but when I see a guy going mech, first thing I do is slap down a couple more starports, rip away that air advantage from him, and really push that Viking Liberator count out to punish him for making that slow-moving siege up army.
Yeah, this is I like it. I like how Alive plays against mech. I'm excited to see what he does. Already splitting his units in half. I actually think that watching the top Koreans play against mech is really fun. It's
absolutely.
It really it's so crazy because it really becomes like a different matchup to usual TVT. So yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, bio versus mech is always exciting, but when it's the top level of the whole world, these two two of the best Terrans in the whole world facing each other, it's just that little bit of extra, little extra caliente.
All these people in chat putting bot faces on. See, if it was chat was live, you guys would have said that when we actually said it. Not 90 seconds later.
Exactly. So you've kind of given it away here. We have 1-1 finishing up for Gumiho. He's also getting the it's a very cheap upgrade to be fair, but the anti-air upgrade for the Cyclones, the extra few volleys of those quick missiles.
That upgrade's actually really crazy. Like.
I actually got it when I was going Cyclone memes against Protoss. It was the only thing that, like, when TVP was a little bit broken back in the day, I would do this really weird one-base Cyclone thing. It was actually Gumiho that I saw do it versus Stats in Olimoleague a long time ago. And I thought it looked like a lot of fun. So I was doing this sort of one-base Cyclone shenanigan, and that was the only time I would get it because it was my only anti-air. So I just, if there was an Oracle or Phoenixes or something really scary to Cyclones, I would just pluck it out of the sky with them lasers. It's good.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It's really, honestly, it's kind of crazy how much it does. Like, remember when you film in challenges, it's like, I'm going to play mech versus Protoss. Oh, you got carriers? Meet my Cyclones. They have an upgrade now. So, that's quite something. Anyways, this army of Alive is funnily enough being pushed back by Hellions, which is not something you see or hear every day. But it's mostly because he doesn't have that much, because he is built into the air army, which is obviously, right now, starting to become a bit of a surprise for Gumiho, and he doesn't have an air army of his own, or he does, but it's really not going to compare to Alive's air army, because Alive also has the upgrades coming through as well.
Absolutely. Alive's air army can very literally A-move into this army of Gumiho and be quite safe. Gumiho, of course, with that very, very strong ground army, though, needs to be careful of the amount of Marauders here. They're going to be very good against the Marines, but we're actually seeing this A-move that I was talking about here. Got to land those Vikings to try and keep them alive. And now the Liberators and the Bio can start to come in here and really make things awkward for Gumiho.
He actually lost his 2 Liberators though, so...
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, he really I wouldn't say overmade Vikings, because I think he did a good job and he needed to win this fight decisively, but now he does have to go into Liberators of his own to do something, although he actually goes across the map.
Oh, what?
Well, I guess because he can defend with the Liberators eventually, and he's guaranteed to deal damage, I suppose it's his fort. He does send some units back. Not everything, though. He will still forward with a good chunk of units, so he's at least going to get base for base.
Yeah, Gumiho definitely doesn't have enough to hold this planetary down. That Bio's got 2 upgrades, and it is just left click on that planetary. Down it goes. Bunch of SCVs going to go down as well. Gumiho is just continuing this push here into the natural of Alive. Alive has a bunch of units in the sky still. Ooh, I like this. Just carpet bombing into that main base.
Straight into the main is exactly what you want to do right now. Get in here, shut down production, force your opponent to run into you rather than you running into defensive siege tanks. And honestly, because Cyclones have been made to kind of retake air control, they're not good units to deal with this Bio force in the main. Not at this stage, not against this much Bio. You know, okay, they're going to start cleaning it up, but tanks would have been so much better, so... Well, as Liberators siege up over on this side... I mean, can you actually save these Liberators in time? He saves one of them.
The tanks are getting closed in on about these Hellbats, but this choke point that Alive's made for himself with these starports is actually really fantastic. These tanks, I think they're actually going to be still a couple of them are left alive in the end of this battle. Yes, there is just barely 2 tanks still alive. And with his starports not even going down, he loses a bunch of supply depots, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. And Alive is in an all-right spot here, keeping his bases alive, while Gumiho losing that command center and taking damage in the main, losing some of those Cyclones. I'm really worried about his longevity here. Look at how low his worker count is.
There's just so many bases for Alive. All he has to do is kind of hold off a little bit longer. Again, he already has the air control, so all he has to do is just win one more air fight, siege up the Liberators, and at that point there's nothing that Gumiho can really get done anymore. His Liberator is actually unprotected here, so Vikings will come in and get some kills. I think if there's one thing you can criticize about Alive this game, it's that his Liberators have just gone down a few too many times before they've been able to really be effective.
Yeah, that's what the Vikings are for here, so that he can have those Liberators be safe. You can see he's still producing them. Ooh! Well, that worker count actually might get closed up a little bit here as he goes for that SCV train, but all that thought, Alive going for a massive Viking harassment, which actually might just be not just Viking harassment, just a Viking insane damage here.
Yeah, these Vikings are doing a pretty insane job right now, and Gumiho has to land his own Vikings to get them out of trouble there. He already takes a couple of shots. He loses the orbital. I mean, Gumiho's still pushing forwards. Another Liberator here from Alive is going to be taken down. You know, Alive is going to struggle to hold on here. He's going to siege up Liberators again, but he needs these Vikings back at home. Like,
ooh, these tanks from Gumiho getting
no way.
Nice shots off. Oh, beautiful. That Liberator is starting to get so much work done for Alive, and it's about time too, because his Liberators, like you mentioned, haven't been great this game. But those ones actually killed so many tanks, and he's still doom dropping here in the main.
Wow, absolutely crazy stuff in the latter stage of this. Finally, the Vikings come home, and I think now the Liberators obviously will be able to clean up, and Gumiho very much so knows it. GG, but again, fighting until the very, very end.